Do we have to copy paste the link into Google?
No, you can just click onto that.
I clicked on it, but it didn't work.
Really?
I can copy paste it into Google. Yeah, that works.
Okay, so let me copy paste. Yeah, it should work.
Introduction to Magic Room of Coding.
All right, so let me share my screen. And there we go. Okay, so how should I see the chat?
Wait, excuse me. Is it possible to share the link to the first slide in the chat?
The first slide?
Yeah, so like in the first lesson you showed like a slide.
Yep.
Is it possible to share that too?
Sure. How do I get to the chat? There we go. All right, so that's it for the slides. And we're getting going. So welcome to our second class for our weekly session on the road of Python. Okay, and last week we talked about some basic setup of the environment as well as some basic variables and how to declare a variable and how to change them. And today we're going to learn some more about variables and some operators. If we have time, we can go to the control flow. So we'll see how far we go. And last week, yeah, I'll probably show you this. We talked about some data types and we ended here around string. We didn't go to list or anything below that.
Okay.
I want to show you guys how lists work real quick. So as I said in the definition, it is mutable, or you can say changeable ordered sequence of elements. So what does it mean? Here is the literal code that you can put in to your Python environment. You say, I have a list. It can be declared in this way or some other ways I'm going to show you real quick. And you have to understand that since it is changeable, so its length will be changing from time to time, right? And right now, as you see, I have 4 different elements separated by this character. And there are 4 elements in it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my length is 4. And here is something real tricky. If I want to access the first element within my list, I have to go list at the index of 0 because the way how list work is its first index is always 0 and its last index, so 4, its index will be the length minus 1. So if I want to get the last element within my list, I have to go the third elements in my list like this instead of 4, which will return an error. Okay, what is this little red things? Someone might have drawn on the on their Zoom meeting. Okay.
I haven't opened it yet.
Okay. How do I get rid of that? Okay. List test. Okay. As I said, I can declare a list in the way of having some elements within it, or I can say I have an empty list. That is the second way. A third way is go like this: declare as a data structured directly. All three of them works. The first one is when you know that, okay, this is a list I'm working with, and I know how many, like what the exact elements are going to be. And for these two, they're about the same. They both have an empty one, but the second one is slightly faster than the third one. You don't care about that for now, but if you ever decide to participate in any coding competitions, they have a restriction to your speed as well as your memory consumption. Then you probably want to use this one. It can save you a couple milliseconds. And as I mentioned before, that lists, they are mutable and changeable. So what if I want to add an element into my second list? I can do something like the name of my variable, so list2, you have a dot, and you simply go append. And therefore, you can enter an element, and let's see how it looks like. Well, it looks like it just added a new element into my list. What if I want to add another one? We can do the same thing. And this time, make a guess. Will it be 8 then 9, or it'll be 9 then 8? What do you guys think? Any ideas?
Excuse me. What
If
are we doing?
Huh?
What are we doing? I just joined. I don't know what we're doing.
Okay, so today we're talking about list first, which is a data type that we didn't get to go through last time. And then we're talking about some operations, mathematical and logical. Then we're gonna go to get some control flow working. Okay, boys, it's a 50-50 chance of winning or losing. It's going to be 8 then 9 or 9 then 8. Nobody want to take the chance, the risk?
9 and 8.
8? 8 and 9?
9 and 8.
Okay, 9 and 8. All right, let's take a look. Well, it turns out to be 8 and 9. Why is that? Let's throw in a 10 and see the pattern. Okay, so looks like 8, 9, and 10. Is it because 10 is larger, so it's at the end? Well, it might be why. So let's change the order like this. Is it going to be 8, 9, 10 again? Oh, surprise. You know what's even more surprising? Is these white paints.
Yeah, somebody is drawing on your thing.
Yeah, how do I block people from drawing? Like, and also,
How do you even
that.
draw on someone's thing?
Like, I don't know how they're doing that. But
Off from view options.
Like, it's
and
not
then
your
annotate,
computer. It's not their computer
then
screen.
You're letting them annotate.
Can you enlarge the fonts?
And there's someone drawing on your screen again.
yeah,
I can delete that for you, but you can like stop that in settings.
how do I do that?
I bet that half
You
of
can't
this
erase
lesson
someone
when
else's
recorded
drawing.
is just gonna be us trying to figure out who is drawing.
Okay, there I cleared everything. And there we go again. Yeah, I have no idea how to get that. Well, it seems to be clear for now. So let's get back to where we were. So it turns out that it doesn't really matter how big your number is. It just matters the order you add them in to your list. Because the method append is just like the English word append. You append something to the end of another thing. So,
George,
yes?
can you enlarge the fonts on your screen?
How do I enlarge a font in VS Code?
I'm pretty sure you go to File.
This file?
Yes. And then you go to
Nah, this is... Okay, let me just Google that real quick. All right. Right, is it better now?
yeah, that's great. Thanks.
All right. So it turns out the function append an object to the end of the list. So what if I want to add an element to a certain index of my list? What would we do? You boys want to make a guess? Remember that Python is like English. So all the functions, they are pretty much the way that how we speak. It turns out that you just use the function called .insert. That's all you do. And you see how you can take in two arguments? The first one is called the index. The second one is called object. So let's say I want to insert something to the first element of my list. I just go simply 0, which is the beginning index of my list. And I say, okay, I want to insert a string called first element in the list. And let's see how it works. Oh, I forgot to print out. Well, there we go. We have added a new element within the list. And now it's no longer appending. It's going to the first index. Voila. And there is a very useful command you can use. It's called len. Refers to length. And you can just simply go length, then the name of your list. This will tell you how big your list is. 4 here. Or easier for you guys to look at this way. It's 4. And remember how I said you can know that a certain index.
这 coding 要从，所以我们就回到我们这个。
You can access a certain index within your list. And let's say I want to go for the last element within my list, but I don't know how big it is. I can just do length of my list. I'll find out how big it is. And I use the value to -1, and I will get the last element. So I say last element equals to list 2 of my length and -1. And that will returns our last element within the list. And let's have a look. There we go, we have 8. So that's some basic things you can do with list.
Okay.
And you guys, any question? Well, you can ask anything, really.
Can you go back to the code screen?
Yeah. You can just name the line. Here, the number is the line, and I'll show you or I'll explain further. No questions?
I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so at line 18, it says print, like print len list 2. What is the len thing?
So len is a built-in function. It's like print, where I don't have to import anything from anywhere. I can just use it. Basically, it does is to tell you the size of a object. So in this case, I say length of my list. So you notice how I have len, then a bracket, open bracket, and close bracket here?
Yes.
So within that, you only put in one argument. And that is the name of your variable that you want to know the length of it is. And here, notice how I print out my list. And it looks like this. I have 4 elements within it. This is the first one. This is the second one, third one, and the fourth one. And I just print out the length and it gives me 4. So it tells you how many elements are within the list.
Oh. Okay, so like print open bracket len list 2, it just gives you like the length of list 2.
Yes, and if you just want to know the length, and you want to do some further calculations, you just have to go like length equals to, like you don't have to have the print, it's just so it prints out. But if you just want to get the value, you can simply go like this.
Oh, okay. And what about line 22? Last element equals list 2, length list 2 minus 1.
So this is how you can do on every single list object. We want to get the last element within it.
What? Oh.
So here, we can break it down. Here, you understand this part, right? This is the length of my list.
Yes.
I'm just gonna comment here. My length is 4, right?
Yes.
What is the index of my last element within the list? You can check here. So my length is 4, right?
Yes.
Your elements.
Wait, who's drawing?
Jesus Christ. And when I try to get the first element, I go by 0. This is the index, but I'm getting the first element. So the index you're supposed to put in here is always the actual order minus 1. Okay, can we stop the drawing, please?
Does anyone know who?
I don't know who is like that.
Maybe it's you.
Nah, if I were drawing, you will see this. There's an arrow thing.
Oh yeah, the mouse changes.
Yeah, it'll be
Maybe,
like this.
well, I did hear some snickering. Like there was a snickering noise about like someone laughing quietly or something. I forgot.
Yeah.
Like just 5 seconds ago. It was coming from Vincent, I think. I don't know. Or maybe it was just background noise.
Who knows?
All right, so I should have done the slide better, but let's just go find a picture. List, index, picture. All right, this is good. Ignore the last line.
Okay.
We have a list that has 5 elements within it. Okay, the length is 5, but
Okay.
the index number starts with a 0. It does not
Okay.
start with a 1. So the last one is the length minus 1. The index of the last element is always the length minus 1. See, 5 minus 1 is 4.
Okay.
And that's exactly what I did here. I try to get the last element within the list. And here I get the length of my list, then I
Okay.
minus 1. So this is the index of my last element.
So in line 24, you're trying to find what the index of your code of list 2 is.
Yeah, I try to find. Okay,
He's drawing again.
I don't know who that is. So let's break it down further. So the index of last element, what would that be? Or what should that be?
It should be like the number of characters minus 1, which is the index.
Okay, how do I get the number of characters or the number of elements?
You can either count it or you can write some line of code. Oh yeah, length of
Fine.
We can just do like this, right?
length of list2
Minus 1.
minus 1. Okay.
Then how would we get an element from a certain index within the list?
I don't know.
Okay, we go the name of the list,
Okay.
then with a square bracket with its index within it.
So you type the index in the bracket on line 25.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. So now you go index of last element.
Let me try that.
Me too. Wait for a second.
Alright.
So element list to index.
George,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure I know a way to stop annotations.
What?
If
Oh,
you, because you're the host, right? If
Yeah.
you go to the top of the Zoom, do you have a bar?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the like the tab that says more?
Mm-hmm.
Click that. There should be a stop attendee annotate.
Yay.
I don't see
I
it.
do not want people drawing again.
No, me neither.
Did you know that you could stop annotating?
I think there might be,
So let
there
me
must be a way. I just don't know how to get it.
There,
Oh,
Are you
here,
sharing
disable.
screen?
it says disable.
Yeah, I got
yeah.
it. Yeah, it should be good now.
Like this. Like this.
Can everybody mute their mic except the
No
people
matter what I
asking
write,
the
it keeps
question?
on saying syntax error, invalid syntax.
You want to show me your screen?
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Wait, a host disabled participant screen sharing. I guess that has its Okay, I'm going to write
All right, try now.
okay, so I yeah, so I deleted everything I wrote so far, so I'm gonna rewrite it. Share. Okay, I'm gonna write. I'm gonna try the print thing.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, what?
No,
But like I tried
no, it
everything
worked.
else. I tried everything else, but it doesn't work. Like it says a syntax error. Maybe let me see.
I always start with
Yeah.
yes, square bracket.
It doesn't say anything.
No, because you didn't print anything.
Oh, okay. So let me try.
Now you can try to add some things into the list.
Okay. Oh wait. So
That's good.
next is
You're gonna go, yeah, print.
Print.
Don't put quotations.
Oh, wait. Yeah, sorry. And someone's drawing on my screen. Okay, it works now, but like before it didn't work. And I did not put quotations.
Probably you declared your list with the curly brackets.
Oh. Yeah, I think I might have gotten used to pressing shift when I did the round brackets.
Yes.
Mm.
That
Okay,
might
I'll
be
stop sharing.
George,
one.
can you check Zoom? Because one of my friends left and is trying to rejoin, I think.
Oh no.
They couldn't see anything before.
Bro, they typed it on chat.
Nope, I don't think anyone is trying to join right now. I don't see anyone in the wait room.
Weird.
Oh, I didn't check. Okay, I see Derek asked, does it matter if it's square or round? Yes. A list can only be square bracket. If you have a round bracket, that's something called a tuple.
Okay, I'm working on something right now.
And the tuple is, it's like list, but it's not mutable.
I forgot a bracket on the end.
All right. So everybody understand now how to get the last element within your list? Yeah, or yes or no?
What did you mean by last element or element?
So an element is
Like the 4, 3, 2, 1?
so this is a list, okay?
Okay.
And each element means each object that is separated with a
Comma?
comma. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like right now there's like 4 elements, but if you add like comma hello world and then
Then there will be 5.
brackets, there'll be 5. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
And you can change the length of your list by doing append, which will insert an element into the end of your list. So if I do 9, 10, 8, it'll be in this order, 9, 10, then 8. It'll be like that. And if I try to put something in a certain index within the list, I have to use the method called insert. It takes in 2 different passing parameters. The first one is the index number, and the second one is the content of the element you want it to be in. How about you guys try this yourself? Like I will just leave the screen on like this and try out yourself. I'll give you like 5 minutes or like 6 minutes till 8, 10, and we'll see how it goes.
To do what exactly?
Just try it out, like how to initialize a list, how to add a certain element into the list.
Oh yeah, I already did that. I just did it.
Okay.
Yay, it works.
Everybody else?
I tried it.
Okay.
Let me do
worked.
it again. because the first time it did not work because I was not doing the right brackets.
Oh, all right.
Oh, it makes sense.
Remember, always use a square bracket. Always, always, always.
The first time I did the half circle brackets, and then I thought I did everything right, but I checked and then something was wrong.
Oh, that happens to everyone. And I showed you how to add a certain element into the list. How do we remove the element from the list?
You remove the code adding that element.
Okay, that's one way. What is
That's the big brain way.
yeah?
Big brain time.
What if you want to change the list after you added? Let me show you how to do it. So now, as you see, list 1 has 4 different elements. And if I want to remove some, I simply go pop. I can choose to have a index here, so I can pop the element at a certain index, or I can go like this, and it'll pop the last element within the list, and it will return the value.
Wait, if you just leave the brackets between pop blank, it'll just remove the last element?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the reverse of append. You can think of it like that.
Okay. So append, it adds to the last element. Pop, it removes the last element.
Yes.
Okay.
If I want to remove the first element within the list, I'll go 0. So pop the element at the index 0.
Index 0. Okay.
So here, now is 1, now remove. And this will always return the value of the element that you just removed. So I can actually assign it to removed element equals to list1 dot pop. I can do it like that. And it also works. So if you want to remove an element from the list and do something with it, you can use this one.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go over some things that we did. We did initialize list dot append to the end, and we did list dot insert, which is index and value. To a specific index. Then we did length of list, get the length of the list, list.pop, remove the element from the list, pop.
Wait, on like my Visual Studio Code, when I do a print list1 dot pop 0, it just gives me like the first number in the brackets.
Like this? It
Yeah, like
returns the
this one.
first element of your list?
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
prints out the first element.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. Because
Oh.
as I write here, list.pop with the index, it removes the specific element from a certain index.
So if I do print list1 pop, and then right after I do print list1, it'll print. Oh, it'll print 2, 3, 4. Okay, I see. Okay.
So yeah, that's a great point. I'm gonna show you guys. So now I can see what is in my list 1 for now, and after I removed it, well, before I removed it. Okay, and we're gonna see how it looks like after we removed it. So like this. As you see, the printout, initially our list looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then I remove the first element from the list, which is 1, and now is only 2, 3, 4. And I can do the same with any other elements. So if I want to remove, let's say the third element from the list. So I go pop 2, the index 2. I want to remove the third element from my list. I remove the 3. Now my list is left with 1, 2, and 4. Is that clear to everyone? Yeah?
Yep, it's clear.
Everybody else? Any questions? Concerns?
I get it.
Okay.
It makes sense.
It makes sense, great. Right, so let's move on. And that is kind of like the hard part of today's course. Understanding list. It's very important. You're gonna use it a lot later on. This is relatively easy, and the easy part. You'll do math, right?
Yes.
And we know some mathematical operators like plus, minus, multiply, divide. And they look like this. They're exactly the same from how we do it in just math. Okay. This is plus, this is minus.
What's the dash and
This, yeah,
The dash is divide.
this divide, yes.
So I'm
So,
talking about like the dash in the equation. Like what does that like the dash and then the arrow?
oh, it just tells you what the result will be.
It's kind of like an arrow.
You can understand it like equals.
It's basically an arrow. It's like that
Yeah,
times
it's
that
just like,
goes to that.
So it's like 1 plus 1
1 plus 1 goes to 2. It's
Or
an arrow. It's
it-
basically an
okay.
arrow.
it is the same if I write it as equals to 2. The mathematical equal, you can do the same with this. It just tells you this gives you a product of 2. So the product of this expression is 2. So 6 minus 2 gives you 4. It's like that.
Okay.
And this is multiply. It's instead of the x that we usually use in math, we use this star sign in computer science.
What is modulo? Like the percentage symbol.
I mean asterisk?
It's okay. So divide here in Python works a bit differently from other languages. In things like Java or C, this divide normally gives you only the integer part of your result. So it only returns 1. And if you want to have 1.5, you can't do integer divide by integer. You have to do double divide by integer or integer divide by double.
Okay.
You know what, just forget about that. We're doing Python and Python only. So just divide is the same as your math. 3 divided by 2 gives you 1.5. Modulo, however, you ever seen expression like 3 like this? So you ever seen something like this? 3 divided by 2 equals to 1? Like that? In math?
In math?
No, no.
Really?
It doesn't make
I'm not.
sense.
I'm not that advanced. Okay, I'm only in 8th grade.
Can I try and
What?
explain it?
Only in
You're,
8th
you're,
grade. I'm
you're
in
supposed to learn this in what, like grade 2?
Can I try and explain it?
What in
grade
grade
2 in China, yeah.
Yeah, sure. If you want to explain,
We're-
go ahead.
We're not in China.
Okay, so
Okay.
modulo returns the remainder.
Yes.
So
exactly.
3 modulo 2 returns the remainder of 3 over 2, which is 1.
Mm-hmm. That's
You'll
right.
be seeing it later on.
Yeah, no, I don't understand.
Okay.
It
So
doesn't make sense.
just think of this. With 3 divided by 2, how many whole share of 2 can I get out of 3?
Doesn't make sense.
Okay. You
No,
know the idea
it's- I
of
think-
remainder.
How many 2s can you fit in 3? Is that
you
what
can
you
fit-
mean?
Yeah. How
I
many
don't know,
2's can I fit in?
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
What if I tell you you can only fit in either a 2 or a no 2? There's no such thing called half of a 2.
Well, I can do a half of a 1.
2 2/4.
No. Okay. Jesus, this is like a math class now?
Yeah, we want math class.
Wait, anyone here Christian?
Okay, so just
Why you ask?
remainder.
Because he just said Jesus.
Okay. Doesn't like everybody say that
No.
except Muslims?
Okay, I don't think this will make any sense for you.
Yeah,
guys.
manga Messiah.
Remainder. Model. Why can't you just search on remainder model?
Okay, this might make sense for you.
It's black.
So
Oh, good.
you see how here are 11 different squares, right?
Yes.
Forget about this expression. How many 4s can you fit in 11? 1, 2.
2.
You can fit in 2 4s into 11, right?
Yes.
And there's remainder of
How
3.
much are left? How much is
3.
left?
Remainder of 3.
3, yes.
remainder.
And that is the idea of modulo or remainder, is how many things are left or how much is left from a division. The division
Or
will,
minus. Actually, no, minus doesn't work. It's just division.
division will not always be
Wait, so
decimal
basically
place.
13 over 4. Well, 13 modulo 4 will be like 1 because you can
Yeah.
fit like 4. Wait, no, I mean three 4s in 13 and then 1
Mhm.
after.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
So
basically the
remainder.
remainder.
Let me show you this. Let me see my screen here. This one, the white one here. I just name a random number.
92.
92, right? Give me another random number.
64.
64, okay. So 92 mod 64 gives you 28. And what does it mean? If I do a simple division of 92 divided by 64, it gives me a number of 1.4375.
So basically, you have 1, 64, and 92, and then the rest is like you
Yes.
get from the modular equation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can think of remainder as how much, like the result of this decimal place times your 64. Or like this. If I minus or subtract my remainder, which is 28 from 92, I get 64. So it's just how much cannot fit in 92 from 64. You probably won't use it that much right now in coding. Might learn about it later in math. I don't know.
Would you mind checking if Lena's coming? Because she was here like a second ago and then she disappeared.
Oh, here. There we go.
I have no idea what's going on.
Adios.
I think she is in. All right. So that's modulo, and last one is power. We all know power, right?
Yeah.
2 to the power of 3, that's 8. Right, just the
2
first
times
number
2 times 2.
times, here is the power of the first number. So this is pretty easy, right? It's much easier than list. However, there's a little trick you can do to make your life a bit easier. If you have a number A and you have a number B, you want to go like, I want to assign my A into the result of A plus B. You got to do A equals to A plus B. Well, how do we fasten it up? We can simply do A plus equals B. And the same thing works for all other mathematical operators. So if I have a equals to like 10, B equals to 5, then I can say, okay, what is A plus B? Oh, my indentation. What is A plus B? It's 15, right? If I want to assign the value of 15 to A, I can either go like A equals to A plus B, or I can simply go A plus equals B. And now what is my A? It's 15. And now what is my B? It is 5. So what if I want to
Can
have...
I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, go ahead. We are continuing, but I will send the record. Oh yeah. I will send last week's recording to you guys together with this week's. As I said, it works for any other mathematical operators. So B minus equals to A. You guys want to have a guess what the result will be? What B will be? Boys?
I honestly have no idea.
Would it be like -10?
Maybe negative
Yes,
15.
it will.
Okay.
It is -10. You want to tell others why it's -10? It is -10. Come on.
I know
go,
why.
Chitra.
Because he's
Yes.
smart. Okay, that's the answer.
Okay.
I mean, you do know more things if you're smart, but I don't know.
Like, is it because like B equals B minus A? So if like B is 5, then it'd be 5 minus 15, since A would be 15. So 5 minus 15 would be -10. Is that why?
Yeah.
So it
Just,
has to be. Yeah. Okay. I get
just
it.
remember, whenever I have a value of A and I have a value of B, and I do something fancy like a plus equals or minus equals to b. It just means that a equals to a plus b. But because I'm lazy, I don't want to write my a so many times. I just go like a plus equals to b. Do this?
Okay.
How should I show this better? Okay, so do you understand this part? You know what this means, right? I first calculate what is a plus b. Then I assign the value back to a. This is what this does, right? And to simplify it, I can simply go a plus equals b. It's the same as a equals a plus b. You guys understand that better, or still?
Yeah, I understand better.
Still like
I'm still a
stuck
bit
at some-
confused.
Okay.
So
Just
wait,
tell me why.
if a plus equals b is the same as a equals a plus b, what does b minus equals a?
Okay, so what is b?
B minus equals a.
Well, great question. This is the same as b equals to b minus a. So, think of it like God, how do I explain this? Okay, just tell me why is it so struggling? Like, where is the difficult part? And I can find a better way to explain it to you.
It's because like b equals b minus a. Okay. But
like, okay, so I just calculate what is the value of b minus a, then I put that value back to b. This is what this does, right? That's all it does.
okay.
And when I say b minus equals, it just means I minus a, and I use the equal sign to put it back into my original value.
Okay.
So break this down. You can think of it like you have a minus sign and you have an equal sign. They're just put together, okay?
Okay.
And use the minus sign first, right? Use it first.
Yes.
B minus a. Do that first. Do all the operations. Just forget about this minus sign for now, right?
Okay, b minus a.
Then you have b minus a. Then, because here is a equal sign,
Yes.
you're putting the result of your calculation, this, back into the previous variable.
Wait, so is this basically if you do like whatever variable and
Okay, I
plus
see.
or minus, and then you don't write anything after that? Then does that mean like you'll have to plus or add on or take away the number that's after the equal sign?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I
So-
kind of understand it. Yeah. Okay.
Whenever you see anything like plus equals, minus equals, multiply equals, like whenever you see anything looking like this, okay, or even like this, they are just forget about the equal sign first. Perform the operation, and all equal sign does is put the result of your operation back to your first variable. That's all it does. All right? That makes more sense?
Oh, okay, okay, I see.
You understand now? A bit better?
Yep.
All right. So that's it for the plus equals minus equals little thing. The same thing applies to all the mathematical operations. But sometimes, if you think this is a bit confusing, you can just write a couple more letters. Just say A equals A plus B. Exactly the same thing. Doesn't cost you any more time when the computer tries to
Okay.
execute the code. So if this is not your type, just go with this. It's same thing.
So basically, the A plus equals B is just to save time.
Yeah, it just you don't have to type that much. Because remember what I said the first class? The
Okay, I see.
programmers were very lazy. We tend to write as less as we could. We don't want to waste time typing on the keyboard. It kind of hurt the finger. All right, so under the mathematical operators, we have logical operators. They're kind of similar to the ones we've seen before. The first 6, I believe you guys all understand what it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay, one thing I forgot to mention. The mathematical operators, they return a number, right? Because we know math is about numbers and they return numbers. Makes sense, right? Logical operators, however, they return a Boolean value. Remember Boolean I talked about the first class? They're either true or false. So if I say 3 greater than 2, is it true? Yes. So it returns the value true. If I go 3 is small.
So basically, it tells you.
Yeah, it tells you if it's true or false. That's what a logical operator is. Well, a mathematical operator is just perform some mathematical process, and it gives you a number as the result. We all know greater than, smaller or lesser than. I think I mentioned this last time, but the single equal in computer science or in coding, not necessarily computer science, it means a sign. When you want to do the single equal that we do in math, like 3 equals to, or like 1 plus 1 equals to 2, you use the double equal. So you can do actually 1 plus 1 equals to 2, and that will give you true.
Okay.
You see how this works?
Yes.
It's the same as the math equal that we use in daily life. But in coding, you gotta put one more in there. And not equal. It's as simple as it sounds like. It is not equal. So when I say 5 not equal to 6, well, 5 is not equal to 6, right? So it returns true. If I do 5 not equal to 5, that gives me a false because 5 is 5 and they are equal. And greater than or equal to and lesser than or equal to, they're the same as in math. And they return a Boolean. So the first 6, they are easy to understand. Make sense?
It has a pattern. It's true, false, true, false, true, false.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
OC taking in.
Well, we understand. Okay, the first 6. And here comes something that might be trickier. And or not. In Python, it means the same thing as in real life. But and is true and false. It only returns true. Okay, so all of these, they're taking 2 variables and compare them, or that they compare them and returns a value, okay? Returns a result.
Can this be used with if true or if false?
That's what we're gonna talk about later. But here, and it only returns true if both of the conditions are true. So if I have one condition is true and the other condition is false, it does not return true, it's false. However, if I have a condition called or, so true or false, all this does is it's trying to detect, okay, among the 2 values you gave me, is one of them true? If so, the result will be true. Otherwise, if I have something false or false, this will be false. But if I have something like true or true and true, that's the only case the AND operation is going to return true. And last one is much easier to understand. It just kind of invert or reverse the condition you gave it. So not true, what is the opposite of true? It's false. And if I say not false, what's the opposite of false? It's true.
True.
So this one, all it does is try to return you the value that is the opposite of what you originally passed in.
The pattern is true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false, true.
And that is a pattern, you see. Okay, not intentional, but somehow it is. You guys understand the last 3 now?
Wait, what about and? I don't understand and.
Okay. So it's true. All AND does is takes in 2 Boolean values. It says, are both of them true? they have to be both true for it to return true. If one of them is false, it doesn't matter which one.
It will not be true.
No. So if I have a true and false, it's going to be false.
Yeah.
If I have a false and false, well, it's still false. So this is both be true, right? Both.
So basically, to get like water flowing, you have to get water in both pipes.
Yeah,
To get true, you have to get true in both, like in both sides of the and.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
And
you
the
have to,
or is like 50%. 50%.
yeah.
Well, it's sort of
It's
like an equal, because if one side is not same for the other, then it will be false. Like 5 equals 6 is false.
No, I think it's more like
Okay.
to get like 2, you have to get 1 and 1. If you have 0 and 0, you have 0. If you have 1 and 0, you get 1. If you have 1 and 1, you get 2. I think it's kind of like that.
Yeah, so
And then the or is
Yeah.
like 50%, 50-50.
yeah. So all and it does is has to be, both be the same. It both has to meet the condition. Well, or is just one of them meets the requirement, and that's all it takes. So why don't we bring into some little experiments? That'll be easier to understand. So you guys want me to show you the first 6, or are you good?
Could you please show it?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
so like we get it.
All right, give me a random number.
Yeah, go P.
5.
5. Give me one more number.
You already typed in 6. 6.
D9.
All right, so let's do greater first. 5 greater than 6. Is it true or false?
False.
Yes, it's false. 5 lesser than 6. Is it true
True.
or false?
True.
True.
True. 5 equals to 6.
False.
Or false? False.
False.
True not equals to 6. Is it true or false?
True.
Wait, no. I was
5
supposed
doesn't.
to do like this. I don't know why I typed in the number directly. What if I change my number into 5?
False.
False, exactly. And what if I do this? Num 1 equals to number 2. Is it true or false?
It's
True.
True.
True. Number 1 greater or equal to number 2?
Yes.
True.
True. Great. Lesser than or equal to?
True.
True.
Still
if it
true.
has equal to or equal, then it's true.
Exactly.
Wait, why do we put 2 equal signs?
Because a single equal sign, that means
What do you mean, like a
sign.
variable?
Yeah.
Oh, a single equal is like you assign a value, and
Yeah.
double equal you use the logical operator. Okay.
Yes.
And So that's it for the 6 here. We all got it?
Yes.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
pretty straightforward.
Very clear.
So now let's look at the wordy ones, shall we? Give me true or false. First one.
False.
False.
Because we are negative people.
Give me a second one. True or false.
True.
All right. Oh, just a reminder. These operations are restricted to numbers only, so only numbers can use these ones. But these two here, they are kind of special. Actually, all of these can be applied on variables or values other than integers or double.
Yes.
So okay, don't worry about these 4 for now. You can use equal to and not equal to on other stuff, on objects, and also on booleans. So if I go value 1 equals to value 2, I can do it, right? This is okay. This is a perfectly okay syntax. And this will give me a false because value 1 does not equal to value 2. However, if both are true, then it will give me a true. So it's just comparing the values. That can be used, on things other than just numbers. It can be also used on strings. So if I have like string, and here's another string. These two are identical, right? And that'll return true.
They're both strings. They're the same thing.
Yeah. So if the values of the 2 variables are the same, then this double equal operation, it'll always return true. Doesn't matter if it's
no matter what
number or what. Yeah. Then it can be list as well, like we just learned about. It can be list, and list.
It doesn't have to.
Yeah, there's it can be anything. You can apply the double equal and the not equal. These 2 operations can be applied on basically anything in Python.
Okay.
Okay, so now I remember the first one is false, second one is true. And so what is the result going to be? I have one variable is called false, the other variable is true. False and true.
It's gonna be false.
It's gonna be false, exactly. Because not both variables are true, which is the only case the result is going to be true. So if it's like this, true and true, then you see here, the result is true. And that's it. That's the only possible scenario for AND to return true. However, if I have one true and one false, I can do like or, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can say a or an and.
So that means it
Yeah,
will,
I can do an and, but and will
And, but that would
not
be
return
both.
true. Yeah, it'll return false.
but or will give a 50% chance.
Yeah.
But only 50.
So, okay,
Yeah,
I have a better example. Think of it like this. I'm a Chinese person.
Of
And-
course you are.
And an English-speaking person.
And I'm an English-speaking person, yes.
Yes.
And that will return true, okay? But if I say I'm an English-speaking person and I'm a Canadian, is that true or false?
I don't know.
It's false.
Oh, false.
Or I
Why
mean,
can't we not answer it? Only one person said they don't know, but there's 28 people in this whole class.
That's because they don't want to participate.
Well, I am participating. Duh.
Yeah, that is you.
Yeah, but you were the one who said you wanted to leave.
Okay.
So, and like the example I gave, it has to be both true to return true. However, or I can say I'm a Chinese person and or I'm an
Well, both are true.
white person.
It can only be one.
No, you're a yellow person, not a white person.
Don't.
And that is using or. I'm Chinese
So, yeah,
or I'm
I'm
American.
using
One will be
not,
false and
not
one will be
or.
true.
I'm
And-
using not. You're not a white person. You're a yellow person.
Don't.
Let's
That kind of sounds racist.
let's
Why do you
not
Why do you
talk
say
about
yellow person?
race
That's my
things
question.
here.
Yellow
You do it in
skin
your
color
own time,
person.
but not
Bopper.
here.
There's a
Thank you.
term used for classifying animals.
Right. So, or like I said, as long as one of them is true, then that's great.
Yes.
So if here I say Chinese, true, American, false.
You don't want to be an American right now, Trump.
American. No Americans are.
That will give me true because I
Okay.
I satisfy one of the requirements.
Okay.
Of course.
So, and not, well, we all know that. If I'm not Chinese, that'll be false.
Just means don't print
It's
Chinese.
just going to
Just goes to the other value.
goes to the opposite of my initial value. Same thing applies to if I'm not American.
Which will go to true.
Yes, because
But does not, if you're using two variables, does that mean like it'll always be the same one?
What do you mean?
Like if you use a not for one, if you have like two of them and then you use a not whichever one, does that mean it'll just be the same one all over again? Like same
So you
not
mean,
American, which will mean if you keep on running that, it'll keep on showing Chinese.
what?
I mean, does not, like if you're using not in this example, like not American, it'll just
Okay.
keep on printing out Chinese.
Not quite.
Ah,
If you're using not American, all it does is print out the opposite of this value. Okay.
it'll print out true.
Yes, it does not mean it'll print out.
I mean, like the value of Chinese, what Chinese is assigned to.
Yes, but that only applies in this scenario. Some people, they might have this as false, and it'll still print out true, right? But which is not the value that this variable is in. Okay, so not only deal with one variable. Never try to relate not with two variables. That is, sometimes it can be dangerous, right?
Okay.
So
What do you
only
mean by
think,
dangerous? What do you
well,
mean?
when you try to type code and you try to think of not and the two different variables together, you might
make
mess
sense.
up your thought process.
Oh. So pretend when you're printing, you can't type another print inside what you're printing.
No, I don't think you can do that.
You can do that, but that's a problem.
Really?
Yeah. If you do it on a real code, it will count as one arrow. Like one mistake.
No. Oh, okay. Okay, all this does is it tries to execute whatever is in most operation, okay? So this highlighted part is inside a bigger bracket. So this will be executed first. And that's why it's printing out true here. But why is it printing out none? It's because print, this function, does not have a return type. It doesn't return anything. So it's printing out none.
Okay.
So if I can do something like second print out, and
All right, true.
you see how this does? You go like the first one, then you print out the second one, but don't never use this. This is a very bad example.
That's trash.
Yeah. All right. So those are the 9 logical operators that we normally use. And or not, these 3 are kind of important. So other than the operators, they are only one operation. And if we want to combine many of them together to actually write code, we need something called expression. And they're the same as math again. There is associative law, meaning whatever is inside brackets, they have a higher priority. And they will always be executed first, which is what we saw earlier, like the print thing. This print line is inside a bigger bracket, so it'll be executed first. But don't use it, it's bad. So this can become very handy sometimes. Let's say I have a variable A that is 1, B that is 2, and I want to assign the value of them to the, okay, I want to have a value that is 5 times its sum. If I don't know how to use the associative law, then I have to go A equals to 1. Wait a second. Then I have to calculate their sum first. then times that, multiply that by 5. But this is quite long. I took an extra step here. Again, we are lazy. That's why we do coding. We let the computer do the job. So, same in math. You can simply do something like this. And inside a bracket, it does first a plus b, then multiply by 5, then assign that to d. And that shortcut will save you some time. Sometimes it might be handy. I think brackets, I don't need to explain that. Or do you want me to show it as well? Guys?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to show an example of using brackets or?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Example.
Oh, I thought you guys all took math. Okay, so
A equals 1.
I mean, it's pretty simple, but I just want to see it in action.
I'll just write down what I wanted to do, okay? In math, a plus b
Equals C.
or like this, times 3 divided by 4.
Equals C.
So if I want to write this expression in coding, how should I do it? I want to put in a value called e. How should I do this?
So E equals that, the equation you just wrote?
Exactly.
Brackets a plus b brackets times c divided by 4.
For or what?
D.
D, yes. That's what I said. It's the same thing as in math. Just do whatever is inside the bracket first, then go outside bracket, then do it. The order of operation is also the same. Multiplication, no, first bracket, then multiplication and division, then it comes down to addition and subtraction. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for the brackets. Last thing, this is kind of the first hard thing you're probably gonna meet in coding. Some control flows. There are 3 different statements that check a condition, then it decides whether it wants to execute the code or no. And those are called if, while, or for. Okay, those are the 3 keywords. First, we're going to talk about if. It only runs a block of code if condition is true. So, I have a number called, just give me a random number.
1.
69.
Okay, I'll go with 1. And I take my user input equals to
Okay.
what it does is I want to check if my user input equals to my selection of number. So I just do if, then space, then my condition, num equals to user input. If this is true, I want to do some code, okay? And how do I tell the computer that the following is my code? I simply do a colon, like that. Then I hit enter. And I wanted to say print the value, the values are the same.
Yeah.
And remember the indentation I talked about last time? Here is where it comes to handy. This has a more indentation, meaning it'll only be executed if the previous one works. However, not 100% of the time that my number will be the same as my user input, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's something called elif, meaning else, then if.
Mm-hmm.
So else, if my number is greater than my user input, I wanted to say, or like input too small, because my user input is smaller than the number. And here's something else. So if my number is not equal to my user input, and my number is not greater than my user input, what is my number?
Less than?
Yes. So, meaning my input is too big, okay? Or too high. Here is all the three things you can do in if. However, you have to remember the bottom two parts, not 100% of the time they will exist. You can write an if statement with only an if, okay? However, if you want to use elif or else, then you have to have the if in front of them. When the code executes, it's going to compare. And it's going to check, do I meet the requirements? If yes, it's going to do this. Then it's going to jump out. Actually, I'll just show you guys. Okay. So we know that our number, well, okay, assume we don't know what our number is. Give me a random number. A random user input.
4.
No, a number. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative
Yeah,
1.
4.
4? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Input too high. Interesting. Why did it not print input too small, or the values are the same? Oh, because it did not meet the requirements. So what else does is it checks through its previous ones. Does it equal to my user input? Is it greater than my user input? If none of the previous ones applies, then it's going to go else. And notice how I don't have some kind of operation here to check if number is less than user input. I don't have an else if here because it's simply not needed. If it's not equal, if it's not greater, it has to be smaller, right? It has to be lesser. I can just use else. And always going here. And we already know that our mystery number is 1. So what if I have number that's -10? It's going to say input too small. It only goes in here. It didn't even go to this line, print input too high or the values are the same. Why is that? Didn't George just say it'll always go in else no matter what? Well, things turn out to be a little bit differently. If it meet one of the requirements in the way,
Yes, then it won't go to else.
yeah, then it'll just do whatever code it belongs to, and it's just
So
gonna.
else is else like used like a backup or something?
Yes, else. Remember, you only use else at the end of a statement. You not always need it. Okay, you don't always need to use else or else. But if you want to use else, it's just a backup plan. So in the case of all your previous evaluations failed, you have a backup plan. And else does is, well, if my previous one failed, I want to check, does it meet my new requirement? Okay, it still has a requirement it has to meet in order to proceed to the code. But once it meets the requirement, it's just going to do whatever is here. Then it's going to end. It's not going any further. Okay, it's not going any further here. This will not be even considered. After finishing this, it just ends. It prints done. That's it. And if we put the exact value, that is 1, it's just going to say, okay, is it equal to my user input? Yes. So it prints out the values are the same. Then that's it. It's not even going to check if the number is greater than user input. Nope. Just jump right out. Here I am. Okay. So in if statements, there might be many layers. But once one layer is meeting the requirements, then all the layers after it, they don't matter anymore, okay? In the if statement, your code will only be executed once in one layer, okay? One layer only. So if you have 10 layers, okay, this is layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Let's say you have 10 different layers, but only one layer of the code will be executed. And that's it. All the other layers, they will just not even being considered. Or they might be considered, but they will never run. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I kind of get it.
Kind of.
I don't really get what elif is.
Okay. You understand if and you understand else, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So actually, this is where Python might not be the best language. In any other languages, instead of elif, it looks like else if. That's what it looks like in basically all other languages. What it does is, okay, just break this down into else if, might be easier for you to understand. Else means a backup plan, right?
Yep.
If means I have to check a certain requirements.
Yes.
So what elif means is if my previous requirements were not met, okay, then I have a backup plan here, okay? But I'm not guaranteeing that 100% my backup plan will work for you, okay? I have to check if you meet my requirements. And here is the requirement. And that's what elif does. Else, like backup. And if is just requirements. Well, for else, it's just pure backup. And for if, it is pure requirements. Is that better?
Okay.
So you kind of see how elif is, right?
Yep. Okay, but like in line 2, it says user input equals int bracket input. What is int?
When you read something that is like layered with multiple brackets, read
Yes.
the inmost one first, then read the outer one.
Okay, so it's like input bracket then int.
Yes. So
What is
what
the int?
input bracket does is it grabs the user input. When I run this code, instead of printing anything here, it waits for my user input. I have to give it a number for it to run, okay? I would say 1. Then it'll convert my user, this int with a bracket, it's called a type conversion. So it converts whatever inside into an integer type. Remember the integer type? Meaning whole numbers. That's what it does. Because initially all the user input is string. And I cannot compare a string to a number, which is what I'm doing here. I'm comparing a number to something. I have to compare a number to a number. But I can never compare a number to a string.
Yeah.
So I have to convert its type into an integer. That's all I did here. Actually, if you want to see this closer, I can do this. Here is I grab the user input, right? Okay, user raw input. I print the type of my raw input. And then I will convert it into an integer. And now let's see the new type of my user input. At first, at first, my user input. Okay, this line is my user input, right? This is the first printout. This is the second printout. Initially, my user raw input was a string with a value of 1. So even though it's still 1, it is technically a string. But I have to convert it into a number in order to compare with another number using equal sign, right? So I did int with a bracket that converts its type from a integer, from a string into an integer. And now my new type is integer. So it's just a type conversion. You understand it now?
Yeah, okay.
It's the same if I go like this. So string 1 equals to 1. That is a string, right?
Yep.
If I want to make this, well, I cannot do like num2 equals to 2. I cannot do something like string 1 times num2. That's not okay. Nobody use multiplication between a number and a string, right? I have to change my string into a number. How do I do that? I just do type conversion, convert. I simply use int and I convert it now into a integer. Now I can perform my mathematical operation. And here you see the value is 2.
Okay.
If we did not use this, if we simply go like, okay, I'm using number 2 time my string 1. I'm trying to use multiplication between a string and a number. Something bad will happen. Just
like there'll be an error message.
Oh, it did not. Okay. I forgot in Python, strings, they have a integer representation for ASCII table. This is probably a poor example. But you can see the result is 11, not 2, right?
Okay, so how did you get 11? By multiplying 2 and string 1.
This is a character, right? We see it as a character, but there's something called a ASCII table. This is how the characters or strings, they are represented in computers. And a decimal number of 1.
Yeah. Is
meaning binary ASCII table for char. Okay, character. Now we have a character, a char. of 1, it means decimal number of 49. And 49 in the representation of binary, it's 0, 0, 0. Okay. I don't remember the exact representation of it.
Isn't a number 49 in binary like 110001?
No, 110001, like that.
It's like 1 1 3 zeros and then a 1.
No. Wait. This is a. No. You can never have a 1. This 1 represents 1, and since it's a even.
Isn't that 49 in binary?
Oh yeah, are we looking? Oh yeah, 49. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 49.
That's how it is. Okay, so when you do binary multiplication, okay, that is way too difficult to explain. And 2 is 1 0. And if you want to write it in binary, it's going to look like this. We try to multiply these two together. You ever done something called this? Why is my keyboard not working? Okay, somehow.
I can't read Chinese, so I don't know what's going on.
Something like this, but it's in multiplication. Something like that. But instead of 15 times 16, you do it with 00110001 on top, multiply by 00000010. So, okay, the result is simple. It'll be 0 1 1 0 space 1 0 0 1 0. That's your result. This is the result if you do string 1 times 2. Okay, that's your result.
Yes.
However, the result of this this is 2 2 4 8. Well, it still doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't know why it's 11 then. I have no clue. Let me find that out. I'll probably mention in next class. I don't know. Good question. I don't know. Okay, but anyways, my original point was we're trying to get 1 times 2 to be 2. Somehow it gives us 11. So probably you want to do the type conversion before you do the actual multiplication.
Yeah. You just want to convert into an integer before you do like
Yeah.
multiplications. Okay, I see.
All right. We're 9:30 now. So we have what, like while loop, for loop, break, continue. We'll talk about that next class.
Yeah, we can do that next class.
Or you guys can take a look by yourself. Probably not that hard. And yeah, have a great evening.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Can
Goodbye.
you send the link for
Bye.
the presentation again?
Oh yeah, sure.
Bye.
Bye. Let me know if you can join, because many people told me that they can't join in the meeting. I don't know how, but like cannot access the slide. I'm gonna try now, and we'll see if it works. It's going to be next week, 7:30. However, if you guys think 7:30 to 9:30 is a bit late, just email me and I will see how many people have that opinion in mind, and we might be able to move it to 7 to 9, like move back to 7 to 9. Yeah. Oh, bye. All right, you can open the link. That's great. So that's it for today's class. Thank you very much, everyone. And I will see you next time, next week. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Chess club, yes. You want to join next year or something? All right, I'm gonna end the meeting now. Bye-bye, everyone.